Explain to me how you disagree with that, quote unquote, by logic. Like, what kind of logic? The logic of the skewed logic of this civilization that we've developed over the past 10,000 years or so, that has, as you pointed out, developed with as its root very parasitical ideologies and holding up good things as bad and bad things as good. So what's your logic there? You're talking about how we we have a need for social interaction, and you're talking about the monkey cuddling with the mother doll that has the fluffiness from that famous monkey study. I know that. And only going to the one that has the milk when it needs the milk. That has nothing to do with the kind of society that I'm talking about. That's not society. People might call that socialization or whatever, because society, it is always trying to promote itself and to make itself out to be this great thing, just like how feminism says that feminism is about equality. And society attaches that word to things like affection and people getting to know each other. They call that socialization or social interaction. I don't think that has anything to do with society. My idea of society is sort of synonymous with oppression. It's just this big, stupid system that set itself up for the benefit of these parasitical classes and just forces everyone else to conform to these mindless, rituals that it has. Like, for example, circumcision in Judaism that's existed for thousands and thousands of years, and that Judeo-Christian religion slash Judaism slash Islam slash Christianity, which is basically formed the basis of our whole society. That's what I'm talking about, society. I mean, it's always demanded that males be circumcised. It's always demanded that females not be. I mean, that's society. That's what I'm talking about. Do you understand? It has nothing to do with socialization. It has nothing to do with, you might say feminism is female nature gone unchecked. Well, society is run by female nature. I mean, how do you not see this? This is obvious to me. Communication between humans is necessary for us to feel happy and to even want to live. Again, communication between humans has nothing to do with society. That's not what society is. That may be part of what society is, but society as it has formed on this planet at this time under that term as a whole architecture and a grid that we are held inside of in this matrix has nothing to do with human communication. Human communication could take place completely outside of this kind of a matrix that is what I refer to as society. It's a non-equivalent, it's a fallacious equivalency that you're drawing here. Again, I still agree with we still agree on the overall conclusion, but you're kind of quote mining my comment and taking some things out of context. Okay, then you go into a little bit of talking about saying women aren't human if our standards are what the standards of a man. Well, okay, genetically, women are human. I like your sentiment there. I think there is a lot of things in female nature that have gone unchecked and caused a whole lot of problems in the world and a whole lot of inequality in favor of females, and set up a matriarchal system, really, which is what society is. And then they've created feminism, which is a way to push it even further by completely reinventing and inverting and reversing history and saying this matriarchy we've always had, where women have always used their sexual market value and power to manipulate men to get everything to be the way they want, because they were using men, and because men were the soldiers and the workhorses, that men had all the power. And so now we need to turn that around, and we really need to give women more power. It's like more power than all the amount of power that they've always had, 100% of the power. You want them to have 200%? There isn't that much. There's only 100%. But women are human genetically. They've got some issues in their nature. So do men. So, men are oppressed in this world, but so are some women. Everyone is oppressed to at least some extent under this tyrannical system, which I refer to as society. This is my definition of this term. It's sort of like the patriarchy hurts men too bullshit the feminists say. So matriarchy hurts women too sometimes. But that isn't the point I'm trying to get to. The only ones who aren't oppressed are these parasitic bureaucrats, or in today's age I'd call them technocrats, who set this whole totalitarian system up to control everyone and herd people like animals. And by and large, as you yourself sort of alluded to, SexyMGTOW, these groups they are women, or they're controlled by women, or they're men who are servile to women, or whatever, because feminism and female nature benefits them and they benefit it, as you can see in terms of majority female voters, majority female control of spending power and consumerism. The female and the technocrat have formed this symbiotic power monopoly. That is what I am referring to as society. And males, unless they're your white knighting, pussy licking, female ass kissing types, are out of the loop, okay? So yes, society is an inherently bad thing, as I make it out to be, if you are defining the term the way I have here. Okay, and I'm not saying that the reason that men are choosing not to have children is because a species identity has ended. I'm saying that we should be, note I say should, not necessarily are, getting past the stage in our evolution where we define ourselves purely as part of the pack. We should be evolving to where we see ourselves as an individual identity, still connected to our human identity, obviously, but not completely subsumed within the collective. In other words, we need to stop acting a little less like wolves, or actually we need to start acting a little less like wolves and a little more like bears, I guess you could say. Do you see my point? I did want to just point out one other thing I found kind of funny. Remember, I'm doing these in the order that they were originally stated in SexyMGTOW's video. You talk about homosexuals getting rights and all the other kinds of faggots getting rights. I was just wondering, what are the other types of faggots besides homosexuals? But yeah, I mean, I am for rights and freedoms for everyone, so long as they don't infringe upon the rights of others, like the way some groups, such as feminists, their idea of giving rights in their zero-sum game mindset is that taking rights away from males is giving rights to females. That shit really fucking infuriates me. Yes, socialism is anti-human. Totally agree with you there. It's terrible, ban it. Get the fuck rid of it. The improper ideals that are quote-unquote unsuitable to a society, I'm sorry to say, are the ideals that make society society. If it didn't have these improper ideals, it would, by my very definition, be something else. A culture, perhaps, or a civilization, not society. Okay, so then we start to get into transhumanism. This is very much a whole other can of worms. There simply isn't anywhere near enough time in this video to give this subject anything like the treatment that it deserves. Maybe I'll do my next video on this if I do decide to do more videos, but I will just very briefly respond by saying this is just a very, very easily debunked, very ancient argument you're making here. Basically a purely Luddite and technophobic argument that people have been making since technology started being invented. That it's somehow unnatural. Well, yeah, who fucking cares? You say it's stupid because we got where we are from nature. Fucking with that to try and create something better, while entirely possible, may have unforeseen complications with nature. Like, seriously? By that same logic, we shouldn't use the internet or live in houses. We should just be squatting out in the woods somewhere because that's where we got from nature, quote unquote. Transhumanism is already happening with artificial hearts and pacemakers and things like that, and I don't see a downside there. Of course, the whole problem with transhuman technologies that I will acknowledge is that they could allow us to be controlled by the very society and technocracy that I described earlier. But again, that's not a problem with the technology itself, but with the system we're currently imprisoned within. If we could somehow, pirate transhuman technology and use it to enhance our natures without their back doors built in, I contend that it would probably be the greatest thing to ever happen to mankind. Anyway, though, these videos were mostly unscripted, so I do apologize if they were a bit rambling and lots of ums and likes. As I said, I haven't really made YouTube videos before. I'm more of a watcher. I don't know if I'll do more in the future. Let me know if you think I should. You can leave it in the comment below what you think. Thank you for your video, SexyMGTOW, and thanks to everyone for watching.